I'll wait until at least someone arrives. What's the point of live streaming if no one sees it, you know? I think my friend fell asleep. Part of me is like, I don't know, should I just want to kind of want to continue, but another part of me is like, but they're my friend and I was gonna do it with them, but you know. I'll be right back. Dum, 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 dum. The three of us wait outside Cornflower Inn at dawn. Whoops. We stayed up way too late the night before. Well, Paris and I did. Raphael passed out after his first drink. I would have never pinned him as a lightweight. I let out a long, wake up. I let out a yawn. I don't speak English right. I'm sorry. I let out a yawn. Stop it. I let out a long yawn, and Paris echoes me.
Man, that was some night.
Yeah, and I beat you.
You did not. It was a tie. We both had the same amount.
Yeah, but you passed out first.
Did not?
My ears twitch up and I hear a noise behind us, and I turn to see Brahms approaching.
Must you be so loud so early in the morning?
Despite the fact that he told us not to be late, we've been waiting for at least 15 minutes. He looks like he didn't get enough sleep himself.
Ah, boss. Sorry about that.
Don't be sorry. Just be quiet.
Oh, it's like that, huh?
I've hired a carriage to take us to the southern dock.
A carriage?
I've never ridden in the carriage before. I've never really had any reason to, and I certainly couldn't afford one.
Yes, it should be here any minute.
Indeed, a few minutes later, a carriage pulled by two large white horses. A few minutes later, a carriage pulled by two large white horses rolls up to the inn.
Wow.
If only we'd had one of those. I'm going to scream at myself. If only we'd had one of these yesterday. I wonder if we'll be able to find a carriage that will get us close to Opham once we reach the mainland. That would certainly make our job easier. Too easy, almost. Brahms climbs inside first. Darts inside, really, and then Paris, then me, and Raphael. I wait for Brahms to give some sort of command to the driver, but a second later, the carriage begins moving. Must already know where to go. So fancy. I sit next to Brahms while Paris is across from him. Raphael closes the door, leaving us in the dim light of the carriage. With the curtains drawn as they are, it's the perfect lighting for a nap, and I can feel myself starting to get a little sleepy.
All right. Since you three are working for me now, there are rules I'd like you to follow.
You got it, boss.
Brahms glances at me, and I wonder if I answered a little too quickly.
Yes, well, first off, I will provide you with food and lodging during the journey.
It's very difficult to suppress the urge to squeal, but I manage.
Second, you are all tasked with choosing the safest route back to Alpen for me. If a single hair on my head is harmed, there will be grave consequences.
From the look on Paris's face, I can tell he's about to say something potentially
This is
job
actually
damaging.
our first job out of New Trinity.
That probably wasn't the best thing to
Oh.
admit.
Where were you working before?
Oh, around...
I'll say this now. I don't want any shenanigans out of you two.
Huh? Me?
Brahms looks between Paris and I feel a little offended. I haven't even caused shenanigans
Yes,
yet.
you know, no fraternizing on the job.
Because we're both QB, he thinks.
Wait, at all?
Of course. I can't have my escorts distracted while they're supposed to be protecting me.
Brahms leans back in his seat and folds his arms across his chest, focusing his eyes on Paris, who looks increasingly distressed. Seems like my cue. Let's see. Okay. So we've got aggressive or playful. Playful. I tilt my head quizzically and put on the most innocent face I can
And
muster.
by fraternizing, you mean...
You know,
Brahms is steadily turning a dark red color, and I'm hard pressed to keep a straight face.
No?
it's no, no intimate relations.
Ah, intimate relations. I see.
Brahms has fully transformed into
All
into
the
a
way
tomato.
to Alpen? But that's gonna take weeks! You want me to just ignore dozens of offers?
Don't be so dramatic. Surely there won't be dozens.
Paris sits up straight, running a hand through his hair.
I'm in a high demand. Of course, a few of those will probably be repeat callers. I never disappoint a lover.
Brahms looks like Paris has just said something horrible about his mother. Oh, he's probably never met anyone as blunt as Paris is about that sort of
If
thing.
you like, I can show you.
That wouldn't be a problem, boss. No fraternizing for us. Saint's honor.
Good, good. And let's leave it at that.
Brahms leans as far back as he can away from Paris, while still remaining in his seat, crossing his legs and looking very uncomfortable. Paris, when will you take the hint? He doesn't care about you. Alright. Hello, new person. I don't know if you are my friend or if you are the person who made this game, or one of the people who made this game, because I sent them the link. I'm not sure if they're actually gonna watch it, and that's fine with me if they don't. I mean, they don't need to feel obligated to watch it. But didn't miss much either way. All they did was get on the carriage, and they're heading to open. I don't know. I don't remember what it's called. I don't remember what it's called. I just don't remember how to say it. So you didn't miss much. Don't worry. At that moment, my stomach gurgles. Loud. Brahms jumps on the change of subject.
You didn't eat breakfast? I can't have escorts who are weak with hunger. From now on, I expect you to properly take care of yourself.
I wasn't really expecting to be scolded about breakfast, especially considering...
It's really early. Nothing's open. The inn owner wasn't even awake when we left, so we couldn't order any food.
I see.
Well, next time be prepared for such eventualities.
Right. 7,000 silver serifs.
I just have to keep reminding myself. Brahms looks over to Paris and Raphael
And
next.
your names were...
Already forgot.
Paris.
Like the Cubite general who stood at Yale Fort.
Wow, you know your history.
I don't like
Of
Paris's
course.
voice sometimes. I mean, like, his voice actor did a great job. But, like... I'm just not a flirty type. Like sometimes I'll play flirt with friends like hey or something like that, but I don't really mean it, obviously.
I didn't know you were named after a general, Paris.
It was my dad's idea.
I always thought you had a weird name.
You are literally named after burned residue.
No. I'm named after...
I mean, if my parents ever told me why they named me that, what they did, I don't remember it. I don't remember much of them all. Which means I can make up whatever
the
I want.
all-powerful king of the ancient Cuba.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Please don't put me through this. Oh no. I remember this part. It's just a tiny bit. I don't remember a lot.
The all-powerful king of the ancient Cuba Empire that used to rule New Trinity.
I don't remember the ruler's name being Ash. In fact, I don't remember them being a man at all.
Nope, it was definitely Ash. And they were definitely a man.
I don't think your information is correct.
Well, since we don't have any history books around, guess we can't prove I'm wrong.
And you are Raphael.
That's right.
Why did you remember his name?
Because he's not a playboy.
I like the name Raphael.
Oh, he's so adorable. I love Brahms. He's so cute. I want to hug him.
Thank you.
I want to hug
You
everyone
are
except for
welcome.
Paris. I feel like Paris would, like, go a little too far. Well, maybe. Who knows? The carriage pulls up to the docks just in time for us to see a beautiful sunrise over the water. It's gorgeous. Once I step outside, I spend a few seconds just watching, a smile pulling at my lips. My luck hasn't failed me yet, seems like. I can only hope it lasts just a little longer. Brahms is such a softie. Aw, I know. He's so adorable. Just want to pinch his little cheeks. There are several boats. There are several boats docked in the harbor, but I know immediately which one's ours. It's the largest one, far larger than the one Paris and I had taken from Belledale. There are finely dressed people, all filing neatly on board by way of a wide wooden plank forming a ramp up onto the deck. Most of them are reavers.
Boats. Why boats?
I'm trying not to think about it. If I do, I might get seasick before we
Come.
even board.
We don't have all day. On the boat. You, carry my bag.
Brahms gestures to Paris before striding off down the dock. Oh, poor guy, he's just you. Looks like he's already forgotten his name again. Poor Paris, I actually feel kind of bad for him. It's okay, Paris. I still love you. It's just not as much as the others. No, I'm kidding. I love every one of them. They're all cinnamon rolls. It's just some of them aren't, you know, so innocent. Paris looks like he's unsure whether to refuse on principle or to agree in the hopes of gaining points with the noble.
Well, you? Get the bag.
The carriage driver comes around with Brahms' bag. It's not as big as I was expecting. It matches his outfit, complete with little purple bows on the side. Aw, cute. Paris sighs and slings it over his shoulder, following after Brahms. Brahms is stopped at the bottom of the plank, standing next to a sailor who is wearing a bow tie, of all things. Something tells me this experience is going to be a lot different than the last boat.
Are you part of Lord Brahms' party?
Yes, they're with me. Here, this should cover the tickets. Keep the change.
Brahms reaches into a pouch at his side and takes out 10 golden seraphs. 10 golden seraphs. My jaw hits the ground. How much is the ticket on board this boat? And just how rich is
Well,
Brahms?
come on then.
When I snap out of my stupor, I see Raphael and Brahms have already started boarding. Paris, like me, appeared to have fallen into a trance at the sight of such valuable
Right.
coins.
Coming.
I don't know what I've gotten Paris and I into, but I can't wait to see how it all plays out. Oh, looks like I can't go his route, but that's fine. I like to. I'm sorry. He Paris is he's got his own charm and flair, but I honestly, my first ever choice has to be the cool and silent guy. Like in in or on High School Host Club, my ultimate favorite character in there is Mori Senpai. My second favorite is Ritsu from the I think his name is Ritsu, right? Ritsu Kasanoda, something like that. Chapter 1. See, that was just the prologue. The ship is slightly larger than the one we came over on. There are no black gamble tables set up that I can see, but after what happened last time, that's probably for the best. The railings are painted gold, giving everything an expensive, important air. I wouldn't expect anything less for a ship Lord Bombs was riding voluntarily. He strides across the deck with the air of a person who knows where he's going. We all follow, though Paris takes up the rear. Why do I agree to this? How long is this trip? Oh, so sounds like Kia doesn't have voice lines for this one. We'll be on the water for around 14 moons. Paris snaps his head up, ears drooping down as he processes this information. 14. I'm not going to make it. I was expecting a long trip, but this is going to be rough. I feel like I only just got my land legs back. Brahms rests a hand over his stomach, letting out a low hum. Back and forth. Ugh. Come, we should put our things in our rooms. Our things. I don't have much. I didn't bring a lot with me from Solon, just one bag. It had to be small enough that I could carry it around easily, since I hadn't been sure where we'd be settling. Paris, Raphael, and I follow Brahms as he strides through the crowd. Despite his short stature, people seem to unconsciously move aside for him. Most of the reavers in Solon, few as they were, had the same effect on people. It's sort of funny to see it working on other reavers, though, rather than Cubi. Or Cubi, sorry, I keep forgetting. We take the stairs below deck. The sun already makes the heat outside hard to bear, but inside the ship, stop it. But inside the ship, the air feels even worse, heavy, muggy. There are several doors lining the halls, so many that the rooms they hide can only be a few spare feet in length at the most. I wonder how many people this ship can hold. Considering the crowd, I'd assumed a lot, but I guess all the bags laying around could have made it seem like more people than there actually were. Alright, this is your room. Brahms folds his arms to stand to his side, so I step forward and curiously slide open the door. There are 2 cots set up, one down low, one up high. 2 cots, huh? Since Raphael's a practical stranger, I can only assume Paris and I will be in one bed. Just the thought makes me nervous. Well, Paris will probably seduce his way into someone else's room soon enough. I'm not bitter about it. Raphael... Wait, what? I'm not bitter about it. Raphael steps inside and sets his pack down in the corner, as well as his bow and quiver. I don't need much sleep. He must have seen my face. What? No, you can't just not use the bed. It's fine. Paris and I will split one. Oh, we will? Suck it up, Buttercup. Now I'll show you where my room is, in case I need to call for you. Call for us. I guess we really are servants now. Paris drops his own bag and lifts up Brahms a little higher, grunting at the weight. Paris, do you need me to carry that for you? What? No, I can handle it. Raphael is smaller than Paris, so it's sort of funny to see him offer. It's obvious Paris is starting to struggle, though. The position he's carrying it in isn't the most efficient, making it even more cumbersome than it already is. I only ask because there's a sudden cracking sound as we round the corner. One side of Brahms' bag, knocking against it and sending it tumbling from Paris' hand. Oh, the crash when it hits the floor is tremendous. I wince at what has to be incredibly valuable toiletries and trinkets banging against each other in a sound that I hope doesn't mean they're broken, shooting Paris a look. It seems like you did not notice the precarious angle with which you were holding it. Yeah, Raphael, I got it, thanks. You imbecile! Honestly, I don't blame Brahms for getting mad. Paris, you need to be careful. Love you, but... Brahms storms up to Paris, shoving a finger into his chest so hard I'm surprised he doesn't break it. There are items in that bag worth more than your entire family. Wow, rude. Be more careful, pick it up now. When Brahms is angry, he's just a little terrifying. It feels like he grows a full 2 feet. His voice gets a note deeper, and his eyes start to look less like pools of water and more like flames that are blue. My apologies, Lord Brahms. Paris must have noticed too, because he looks more bewildered than apologetic. Still, Paris isn't one to stay off his game too long. He snatches Brahms' hand out of the air, bringing it to his mouth and pressing a kiss to the back of it. I have no idea why Paris would think that would solve the problem. Brahms isn't having it. He snatches his hand back so quickly I'm surprised Paris is still intact. Unhand me. You do not touch me without my permission. Is that clear? Is that clear? Yes, very. I'm sorry, Paris. I feel kind of bad for him, but flirtery does not get you everywhere, dude. Flattery, that's the word. I was trying to figure out the word. I'm a little tired, so Brahms looks to me next, and I flinch back instinctively. Why in Riveria would any respectable guild allow this ruffian to become a member? Any advantage Paris might have had with his charm appears to have faded. Not unusual for people who've known him longer than the night. You know, we're really working very hard on him. He had such a tough childhood. Brahms frowns, shooting one last glare at Paris before turning around and continuing to stop down the hall. I'm sorry about your tough childhood, Paris. I wasn't aware... I wasn't aware we were actively trying to help him suppress his baser needs. If I'd known, I could have been administering punishments whenever he got out of line. I'm sorry. It's just Raphael's. Oh my gosh, I love him. Paris's face is priceless, and it's official. I like Raphael more and more with every word that comes out of his mouth. You want to punish Paris? It can be a very effective training method. Paris shoots Raphael an exasperated look, kneeling down to gather up Brahms' bag. I don't need help suppressing my baser needs. Oh, I beg to differ. Are you coming? Brahms' irritated voice floats down the hall, and we start moving again to follow. Brahms' move. I'm disappointed in myself. Brahms' room is much nicer than ours. For one thing, he's by himself. For another, well, actually aside from that, it isn't all that different. Put my bag there. Brahms points to one corner, and Paris dutifully unloads it gently onto the ground. Anything else I can do for you, my lord? Paris is still trying to get on Brahms' good side, and maybe in his pants, but I sort of think that ship has sailed. No, now I don't care what you three get up to on board, but I'd like daily reports to my room before nightfall by at least one of you. I think our team leader can handle that. Yeah, sure. That does raise a question, though. What exactly am I reporting on? Brahms folds his arms across his chest and stares at me hard. I stare back, more because I'm unsure of what he wants me to say rather than actually wanting to stand my ground. Eventually, he lets out a noise of discontent. Well, I'm sure I don't know. You're the adventurer. Aren't you used to this sort of thing? Right, if I were a real adventurer, what would I say? Yes, you're so used to it, you'll get that report. Yes, sir, you sure will. Good. You're all dismissed. Y'all dismissed. Sorry, I don't know why I did that. I exchange a glance with Paris and Raphael before wandering back into the hall. Ash, I'm startled to be directly unjust, but churn nonetheless. Brahms presses a hand to his stomach, taking a deep breath in. Bring me something to drink. Tea, preferably, and water if they don't have any. Rum as a last resort. If they do have tea, make sure it steeps for at least a full 3 minutes before removing the leaves. obviously I'm gonna go with the, what's the actual word for it? Gentle. 7,000 silver there. Silver 7. Wait, there's another one? Oh, there was a logical one too. I'll just do that one. 7,000 silver serifs, Ash. No problem. I wonder if I should start charging for each extra favor he asked for. Want me to get you a drink? That'll be 100 extra serifs. A foot rub, 2,000 serifs. You want me to what? Well, for some extra bling. Are you just going to stand there grinning like an idiot, or are you going to get me my drink? Yes, coming right up. Brahms slams the door in my face, but not before throwing out one last glare. Well, I made my bed. I have to lie in it. Wait. A second later, an irritated Brahms pokes his head up. What? Food? I beg your pardon? I almost forgot the most important thing. What is the food situation? Brahms huffs as if that isn't a perfectly reasonable question. Meals are included with the tickets I purchased. Breakfast and dinner, served in the mess hall at sunrise and sundown. The free meals are certainly helping me warm up to Brahms a little faster. Great. Brahms slams the door again before I can get out the rest of what I wanted to say. Oh, that's cool. I was done talking anyway. Paris lets out a long sigh, scratching through his hair. I don't think I'll be able to charm him. How do you think he'd react if I offered a massage? He'd probably report you to the captain for sexual harassment. Paris can only sigh because he knows I'm right. Look, Paris, just be yourself. That's what I'm doing, and Brahms clearly likes me. He's already made me his water boy. You wish you were so lucky. Paris scoffs at me and rolls his eyes. Right, good luck with that. I thought I would faint before dinner rolled around. I'm starving. I don't think I'll be able to keep anything down. Paris does look a little green around the ears. We can see Brahms enter the mess hall behind him, looking even worse than Paris. Ugh, 2 more weeks of this. See, Brahms agrees with me. Brahms frowns at him, as if saying, don't involve me in your peasant conversations. Shall we find seats? Oh, shall we find seats? I jump when I hear Raphael's voice from somewhere over my shoulder, churning. Ah, Raphael, geez, you scared me. Make some noise next time. It must be all the extra noise in the dining hall. Usually my ears would pick up someone standing that close. Okay, what sort of noise? Okay, what sort of noise? Never mind. Yes, let's find seats. The way the passengers are situated, there are enough open seats for us, but it's still rather tight. We end up next to 3 men in sailing uniforms. One of them has an eye patch, and I'm momentarily distracted by how cool that is. We are the one-eyed bandit coming for your serfs and your cart. You say something? Nothing. You're a mess. The food doesn't take long to come out. There's a bowl of rice with a small fillet of fish on top and a cup of rum. Just enough to keep us alive, but certainly not enough to get us full. I lift my chopsticks, cautiously taking a bite of the fish. What is this? What? This chef couldn't cook his way out of a spider web. Honestly, has he ever heard of seasoning? And why is this rice so hard? He is rather limited. The ingredients he uses has to last the entire journey. No excuse. I'd rather have one good meal and starve the rest of the time than torture my palate like this. That's dumb. I pout at Raphael, who's staring at me like he's trying to decide whether I'm serious or not. I don't want to ruin the mystery. I cannot wait to get back to Open. I look up from giving my food a look at his taste and see Brahms giving his the same twisted lips and narrowed eyes. It makes me want to laugh a little. We have one thing in common then.
Don't look like that, Missy. It's not so bad.
The 4 of us look around trying to figure out who he's talking to, considering there aren't any women at the table. Okay, so I guess the voices for that part just weren't done, or they didn't think it was important enough, or they forgot to put it in. Either one, I can fully understand. Eyepatch is staring directly at Brahms with a flirtatious smile and a wink that looks strange considering he only has one eye to spare. What? It takes every single ounce of me not to laugh. I am not a missy. I don't understand. Brahms does not look that much like a woman. Of course, his throat is covered, and he does have plump lips for a boy. But so does Ash, and Brahms is rather short, by the way. And the way he holds himself is, "Thank you, I think that will suffice." Brahms shoots a glare at Raphael, who just nods. "You're welcome." Eye patch has gone white and a little trembly.
Sorry, sir. Man. Dude. Bro.
I love this.
Excuse me.
Eye patch takes his bowl and his cup and stands to go sit at another table. The nerve! Do I look feminine to you? I just stifle a laugh, but I don't want to hurt Brahms' feelings. He actually looks rather distressed. No, buddy, you're a real macho man. You have a masculine beauty. Paris and I turn to look at Raphael, who stares back at us blankly. Brahms lets out a miserable sigh and picks at his food. I almost want to pat him on the back, but considering how he reacted to Paris touching him, I go back to trying to force my food down, grateful at least for the rum, even if it tasted watered down.
Alright guys, listen up. It's time for tonight's entertainment.
There's a round of cheers from other tables as the four of us look around curiously. It seems like this has been going on since before we boarded. Today our tale is about the Grim Reaper. There's a series of oohs and ahs. Brahms looks around and frowns. Who's the Grim Reaper? I'm telling the story here, mister. The sailor clears his throat.
For those that don't know,
He gives Brahms a pointed look.
the Grim Reaper has been a legend round these parts for years now. An assassin so good at what he does, people call him Death itself. He follows the traditions of old, and branded himself with a skull tattoo on his chest, so people will know he's part of the sacred trade that has long floundered in these times.
He's never been caught, and they say if you have need of him, he'll find you. I can't help but snort. There haven't been any assassins around for ages, not since the Second Riviera of War. Anyone with an assassin's brand was executed years ago. It's just common knowledge. Brahms huffs next to me. That is so disgusting, killing people for money. What sort of insane person would do such a thing? Brahms shivers, looking down at his food with slightly hunched shoulders. I do believe the little ghost story has scared him. Let's hope that Grim Reaper is the one that gets hold of the king. Paris, why would you say that? I'm just saying it wouldn't be much of a loss. There have never been any QB assassins.
And how do you know?
The hoods, our ears wouldn't fit in the hoods. I gesture emphatically to my ears, and the sailor squints at me.
Assassins don't always wear hoods.
How do you know? Have you ever seen an assassin? This fish is bland. I turn at the idle declaration, throwing my arms up. So you agree with me? After dinner, the ship is quiet. It's nice out on the deck. The sounds of waves relaxing, and a nice distraction from the taste on my tongue. The sailors are still moving around, doing their thing, but they're hardly in my way. Honestly, it's probably the opposite. I inhale a big, deep breath of sea air, smiling out at the waves. Everything's going to work out. I was worried for a bit, but Paris is here, and Raphael is quickly growing on me. Even Brahms isn't all that bad. Yet, movement out of the corner of my eye catches my attention. I see Raphael in an unused corner of the deck, stooping over something. Looks like the new Sheikah cat is at it again. I blink, glancing over at the sailor next to me. He gestures toward Raphael with a grin on his face. He's been at it all day. Guess we should thank him. Although I can't help but worry about that bow of his. Everyone's too afraid to say something. Huh? He doesn't say anything else. And since he feels like being cryptic, I decide to see what's up for myself. I make my way towards Raphael, not bothering to hide my curiosity. Hey, what are you doing? Raphael turns. On the ground in front of him is a dead rat, an arrow embedded into its neck. Surely one of Raphael's. Normally the Sheikah looks impassive, but right now he has a dark expression on his face. I hate rats. Oh. Playful, aggressive, Gentle. 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 Yeah, well, I wasn't expecting that. I laugh a little at how serious he looks. I don't have anything else to do. Do you want me to help you catch a few? I think I can come up with a better method than stabbing them to death with the arrows. Yes. Great, I was getting bored. Let's get started. Is everything in position? Raphael gives me a sharp nod, and I nod back, just for fun, before putting on my serious face. Good. Here comes the target now. Please, people, this is not a drill. Raphael disappears off into the shadows, and I crouch down as I see a large rat scurry across the corner. Scurry around the corner. Wait for it. Wait. Now! Raphael jumps out, jumping towards the rat at full speed. It squeaks and churns, scrambling straight towards me. Its worst nightmare. Ha! We did it! The two of us stare down at the bucket turned upside down, over the frantically squeaking rat that we've just captured. I send a grin over to Raphael, who looks at me and nods. We did it. It is done. Rats are harder to catch than you would think. That took us like 2 hours. Woo! It is done! Yeah! How do we get it out of the bucket? I'll get my arrows. Good idea. It was still fun. Storm snuck up on us. Yesterday it was just a little light rain, but we've been in the mess hall for hours trying to wait out the storm. The boat's rocking so hard the chef and his assistant have cleared away nearly all the things off the shelves in anticipation of more violent rocking. I already have 2 bruised elbows and a cut on my ear. I don't even remember how I got the cut. Hey Raphael, you want to just brave the rain and head back to the cabin? I'm exhausted and I don't think the storm's going to die down anytime soon. Raphael tilts his head at me. You're asking me to accompany you and not Paris? I barely avoid making a face at the name. I think Paris is enjoying himself just fine. He's been holed up in the corner of the mess hall with 3 Kiwi guys for the past hour. They all have ridiculous hairstyles and are way too thin, but hey, to each their own. I haven't even seen Brom since the storm started. Alright. Besides, did you even come back to the room last night? You must be exhausted. I told you, I don't need much sleep. Well, now's your opportunity. I can guarantee Paris won't be coming back to the room tonight. How do you know? I know Paris. Come on. Raphael follows me to the stairs, and once we reach the top, I hesitate for just a second before pushing it open. Immediately, a gust of wind practically shoves me farther back through the doorway. I stumble a few steps back and bump into Raphael. I expect him to give me a little at best. Give a little at best. At worst, worry he'll tumble down the stairs and take me with him, but it's like hitting a brick wall. I have to look back just to make sure it's really him and not an actual brick wall. Are you okay? Oh, yeah, alright. Downwards. And onwards. I don't know why I said downwards. Maybe because the stairs go down for me. Or do they go up? I brace myself and step out into the fray. Saints, this is so much worse than I thought it would be. Oh man. I'm soaked almost immediately. I can barely see 2 stone throws in front of me. I make a valiant effort to walk towards the other side of the ship, where the doors to the cabin are. I jump when I hear a voice right next to my ear. You're going the wrong way. Dang it. This way. Raphael gestures towards what I assume is the right direction, and I nod with no shortage of relief. How can you see in all this? I can't, but I know the layout of the boat. An ear-piercing scream cuts across the deck. I jump and look around for the source, hearing a scream of shouts start up. Someone darts past, followed quickly by 3 others, and I can't help but follow the crowd. What is it? What happened? Someone fell overboard. I press a hand against my mouth in this revelation, looking towards the railing of the boat. With the way it dips and rocks, it's not difficult to believe someone might have lost their balance and tipped over. Oh, saints, that's terrible. The uproar suddenly gets a little louder, and I get trapped in a box of people as everyone starts clambering towards the rail. Shouldn't everyone be moving away from it? Saints, help us. Someone's jumped into the water. I can't have heard that correctly. I whip around looking for Raphael. We have got to get back to the cabins before this madness escalates further. Raphael? Raphael? He's nowhere to be found. He wouldn't have gone without me, right? No. He couldn't have been the one who fell overboard, right? He was just right next to me. There's no way. I slowly move towards the rail, lifting my hands and squeeze my arms. There's no way. The rain has started to let up just enough so that I can see the crowd gathering. The closer I get, the louder people seem to shout. There! No, it can't be. I have eyes, Annabeth. I push my way through the crowd just in time to see someone drag themselves up over the edge of the boat. No way. It is Raphael. There's a woman clinging to his back, and as soon as he gets his feet on the deck, she seems to drop like a stone. You saved her. I have eyes, Annabeth. Couple of the week. I squeeze through the two reapers in front of me, dumbfounded by the sight of a soaking wet Raphael cradling the half-drowned woman's head so it doesn't hit the deck.
Emily? Emily!
A woman shoves past me, dropping to her knees next to the shivering woman Raphael just pulled out of the frickin' ocean and drawing her head into her lap.
Thank the saints! Oh, Genevieve, Pandora, and Fenris!
Raphael stands and adjusts his shirt.
Wait! Thank you, kind sir. You saved my sister's life.
You're welcome. Raphael walks over to me, passing all the people who are staring at him dumbfounded without even a glance back at him. Are you ready to go back to the room? Are you ready to go back to the room? Wait. Hold on. What was that? Did you seriously jump overboard to help that girl? I was pretty sure I could save her. Pretty sure? I don't know if that was brave or stupid. Okay, I'm leaning pretty heavily towards brave. Raphael turns and gestures for me to follow. You look cold. I am. The rain hasn't stopped entirely, and let me be shot in the knees with an arrow if it's not the coldest rain I've ever felt in my life. Raphael starts heading towards the cabin. Heading for the cabin. And I follow up, mostly on autopilot, staring after him. As soon as we got back, it changed, but Raphael seems content to stay dripping in his clothes. Oh, excuse me. Hey, so, excuse me. Excuse me again, jeez. What in Reveria was that? What do you mean? You just threw yourself into a raging ocean. Wasn't that bad. For a stranger? She could have died. I throw my arms up and the rest of my words doesn't seem to get across. Raphael gives me a baffled look. Are you asking me a question, or? Raphael, I grab his shoulders and he looks down at my hands with a look on his face like I just told him tomatoes are blue. You're a hero. Oh, no, I'm not. You're a hero. Hero! Oh. Raphael blinks at me, and maybe it's adrenaline, but I can't seem to stop grinning. That was so awesome. Awesome? Yeah, I turned around and you were gone, and then you were there, climbing up the boat. How did you do it at that anyway? Before I dived, I tied... Never mind, the point is, it was super cool. I finally stopped rambling, and just beam at Raphael, who's still staring at me looking a little baffled. Raphael. He takes hold of my wrists and gently tugs my hands from his shoulders, and I give him a sheepish smile. No one's ever called me a hero before. Well, have you ever jumped overboard to save a drowning woman before? Only once. You're right. Perhaps the more times it happens, the higher the chance someone would call me that. I snort, wrapping my arms around my stomach. Who are you? Seriously, what sort of adventure do we pick up? He nearly died from the look on his face. He could be bored. I'm Raphael. Are you okay, Ash? Maybe you caught a cold. I love him. I can't help but laugh, turning around to climb up onto the top bunk. There's no ladder or anything, so it requires quite a bit of body strength. But I managed it after a second. Never mind. You should get out of those wet things. I'm going to lay down. Okay, good night. Good night, Raphael. The sky. I shall be right back. I need to go go to the bathroom real quick. I'm back. Still alive? Awesomeness. Oh, my stomach. After the storm, it's nice to be out on deck, getting some fresh air. It seems like everybody had the same idea, as the deck is nearly as crowded as it was when we were all boarding. I look out towards the sea, seeing another ship out in the distance. I wonder if there are any that didn't quite make it through the storm. Ah, isn't this nice? The sun in the sky, the clouds also in the sky. At least with the storm I had an excuse not to come up on deck. I'm just glad I don't have to spend any more time holed up below deck. I needed air. I needed to feel the sky. How do you feel the sky? I throw my arms up to demonstrate. Raphael gives me a doubtful look. Don't worry about it. When Raphael stares up like he's trying to figure out if one can really feel the sky, I let my gaze wander off towards the other passengers who are enjoying the day. A little ways away, I see a couple of kids playing marbles. They've got their feet pressed together to form a cage from which the small glass balls can't escape, but it still doesn't seem wise to do that on a ship. I stroll over, putting on my I'm a smart adult face. Hey, you guys are going to lose those. The two look up at the warning. They're both Reapers, a boy with curly black hair and a girl with ridiculously curly blonde pigtails. The boy sticks his tongue out at me.
What do you know about marbles, old man?
Move over. I sit down and join their game. Not about to let that comment go without some retaliation. Aha! I haven't played marbles in years, but these kids are young enough that beating them is child's play. I pick up the marble I just flicked, grinning as I raise it up.
How'd you do that?
Since I won, I do believe I'll be taking this as my prize. Told you we were going to lose these. I pocket the marble and the boy pouts it.
Teach me!
Well, this old man would be happy to share his knowledge. After an hour with the kids, their technique has greatly improved. There you go, just
Thanks,
like that.
Ash.
I want to play you again. I'm getting the hang of this.
Well, I startle when a sudden banging sound rings out over the deck. Looking up to see someone in the crow's nest, ringing a bell so violently it doesn't even sound like a chime anymore.
Pirates!
It takes a second for this to process. Pirates? No way. Ash! I turn, seeing Paris run over to me. Raphael and Brahms close behind. Pirates? What do we do? What do we do? This ship is not equipped with cannons. The captain will surrender. What are they going to do to us? There's no guarantee. They may intend to kill us, or they may intend to torture us and then kill us. Brahms stares at Raphael for half a second before he bursts into sobs. Oh, saints. I don't want to die. Hey, no one's going to die or be tortured.
Everyone, get to your cabins and remain there. Do not come out for anything.
You heard the woman. Come on. I start to make my way to the cabins. Paris and Raphael close behind. Brahms takes it a little longer, walking on shaky legs and blinking hard as he wipes his eyes. Seeing him cry start to panic a little as I consider what this really means. I don't want to go back to my room alone. Can I stay with you three? I don't know if there's room for... Of course. All four of us cram ourselves into this small cabin. Paris climbs up onto the top bunk to make more room, and Brahms immediately sits down on the lower bed, pressing a hand to his forehead. I give Raphael a chance to sit, but he remains standing, so I sit next to Brahms. I always thought the chances of pirates attacking were very slim. While this particular route sees more of them than usual, had we left from New Trinity's North Dock, we might have avoided them. For a second, everyone's quiet as we process this information. I'm not really sure what we'll do if pirates actually board. Maybe if the Reavers just give away all their valuables, they'll leave quietly. This is all my fault. Huh? You heard the Sheikah. Raphael. If I had gotten a ship on out of the North Dock, this wouldn't have happened. I'm so sorry. I can't help but laugh. It's not your fault. Oh, excuse me. Brahms shoots me a glare, and I'm startled to see tears in his eyes. What are you laughing at? I could be as good as dead. A smile falls off my face, and I look away, resting my elbows on my knees. Brahms is right, of course, but everything's so much easier when we can smile about it. Oh, come on. If I don't laugh, I might start crying too. Good. You should cry. We should all cry. Brahms covers his face and leans down until he's folded in half, his head resting on his knees. He starts to let out a strange caning sound. I don't think that will be a very efficient way to spend our time. Oh gosh, this could be my last moments alive, and I'm spending them with you three. What's that supposed to mean? I think you'd at least be grateful to have your best friend here. I'd also be grateful to have a bit more excitement in my dying hours. You will have your friendship and you will like it. You two have a strange friendship. Welcome to the Paris and Ash experience. You people, huh? Brahms lifts his head, looking at Raphael, then me, his lips quivering. You're absolutely ridiculous. I realize then that Brahms' lips aren't quivering because he's about to cry. They're quivering because Brahms starts to laugh just a little, wiping at his eyes and sniffling a bit. Well, I can't argue with that. Ugh, if the pirates do kill us, I'm sorry for taking you all along with me. Hey, there's no need for apologies. We came here voluntarily. Oh yeah, we were desperate to come along, so really it's no one's fault. I mean, you could say it was your fault for having the idea in the first place. Yep, couldn't be helped. No one to blame. Prom smiles at me, just a little bit, but it's enough to charge my own smile until there's not any chance of it drooping. Sure, we may be about to get killed by vicious pirates, but if that's how we're going out, I'd rather do it laughing than crying. It will be fine. I blink at the sudden words from Raphael, who's kept quiet through most of the conversation. He didn't really strike me as the type for placating words. I appreciate the effort. Thanks, Raphael. I haven't done anything yet. Yet? I don't know how much time has passed, but Brahms and I flinch when the door is thrown open. Hey! Two pirates come charging in, making a loud ruckus for absolutely no reason and scaring the pants off me. Whoa, hey now, let's calm down. Not the hair! One of the pirates yanks me out the door by my ponytail, forcing me to join a crowd of passengers also being herded down the hallway. Ash! I'm okay. Glance over my shoulder, seeing Brahms, Raphael, and Paris forced out of the room shortly afterwards. There's some loud ducks. Geese. Whatever. Geese. Yeah, geese. When we get up on deck, it's plain to see that all the passengers have been brought there. The captain of the ship sits on her knees in front of the most enormous chica I've ever seen. Usually they're svelte, delicate things, but this guy, he could probably give the Green Reaper a run for his money. That's right, everyone out. We want to see all your beautiful faces. One of the pirates shoves me down until I fall to my knees. Pirates, I can't believe it. Now that they're standing before me in the flesh. A band of frightening chicas swaddled in striped clothing and wearing bandanas tied around their heads. Love Raphael. Me too. Raphael's awesome. And wearing bandanas tied around their heads, making their horns all the more prominent. I start to feel frightened. Alright, everyone is going to give me their serifs, all of them, as well as any other valuables you might have. The man, who I'm assuming is the pirate captain, stalks over to a sobbing weaver woman with her hands fisted in her hair. Like this nice necklace, for instance. He slides the sword from his hip out of its sheath, pointing it at her. She screams and the others around her scramble away. Off with it, girlie. Please, this was my grandmother's. I can give you any amount of serifs you'd like, gold serifs even, just please. Sounds like this necklace is worth quite a lot, if only in sentiment. Off with it. Sobbing, the woman unclasps her necklace with trembling fingers and drops it into the captain's outstretched hand. Good. Everyone be as docile as this wench here, and we won't scalp you before we kill you. A wave of short shrieks rises up from the crowd. The captain turns on his heel. Ash. I jump at the sound of Raphael's voice so close to my ear. When I turn to look at him, his expression is so calm, I nearly forget what's happening. Don't be scared. I swallow back my instinctive response of how could I not be scared in favor of just nodding. I believe, given the opportunity, I could steal a sword from one of the pirates. Do you think you could cause some sort of distraction? The thought makes my heart race. Right. I don't have time to be scared. These pirates mean business, and if this is our only chance at not dying, I need a distraction. Playful. I rack my brain, but nothing comes to mind. Across from me, where another group of hostages sit. I see the boy and girl I was playing marbles with hardly an hour earlier. I dig in my pocket, tugging out the marble I stole from him and palming it in my hand. Okay, I've got one shot at this. As the pirate turns and walks away, I take aim, and then I flick the marble. It rolls across the deck with precision, and just as the pirate's putting his foot down, it glides underneath his boot. It's almost comical. The captain slips, slides, and pinwheels his arms, and then goes down. A hush falls over the deck. Nobody cries, screams, or sobs. I think I hear a laugh. Who did that?
Who did what, Captain?
You idiot. I didn't just trip. Someone is responsible for that. When I whip around, Raphael is holding a sword. Its owner is bleeding out on the deck. Bleeding like real blood. Raphael looks up at the pirate captain, then points the sword at him. Go back to your ship, or die. The pirate captain stares hard at Raphael, and then gestures towards the two other pirates, who are standing fairly stunned on the sidelines. They rush Raphael, but he looks unconcerned. Only when they're upon him does he move. He's so fast. One pirate falls, then the other, and then Raphael is stalking towards the large Sheikah with deadly intent. It's over before it really begins. The pirate raises the sword, and Raphael raises his, and then the pirate is gasping, falling. Raphael's blade embedded deep in his gut. He falls with a sickening thump. Raphael turns and walks towards the side of the boat, where the pirates' lines are hooked up. He cuts them, holding his sword high. Your captain is dead. Leave now and I'll spare the rest of you. The pirates who remain quickly jump overboard, swimming back towards their own ship. The ones who are still on board the pirate ship, they appear to be scrambling to get their sails to rights, and I watch it all in disbelief. Raphael single-handedly stopped a pirate attack. When all the pirates are gone, the passengers gradually begin to rise. Some are hugging each other and sobbing, but most are staring at Raphael with a look of awe. I'm part of the latter. Raphael, you did it! I love him. I love him so much. I want to hug him. Okay. Are there any, like, Raphael plushies? I would totally buy that. He handled that like it was nothing. Was that what he meant earlier? By he hadn't done anything yet? Raphael! Paris comes over, jaw dropped. That was incredible! Oh my. I knew I made the right choice choosing your guild. What a combination. Ash, you threw that marble, right? I noticed. And you were acting all serious earlier. I should have trusted you all. Right. Brahms looks to Paris and says something to him, and I sidle closer to Raphael so the noble won't hear what I want to ask. Hey, if you could have done that the whole time, why didn't you? Those pirates are no match for you. I wanted to make sure they were all in one place, so that I didn't have to worry about what one might do if they thought their compatriots were in danger. Ah, that makes sense. I really wish Raphael had said something sooner, so we hadn't spent all that time worried we would die. That was incredible, though. I can barely believe we actually managed to find someone like him to join our guild. Looks like our luck hasn't run out yet. Whew. I love Raphael. That was so awesome. I liked the attention to detail that these backgrounds have. Like, I remember earlier when the storm was happening and they said that they had taken everything off the shelves, there was actually nothing on the shelves. The shelves were like empty. I thought that was cool that they added that kind of detail. It's been a few days since the pirate attack. Everyone was a little shaken, but once the deck was clean of the bodies and the blood, things calmed down. The captain offered to refund Raphael's ticket in thanks, but he turned down the offer. Then Brahms reopened the discussion since he'd paid for the ticket in the first place. I can't stop thinking about how Raphael handled that situation, though. He was so cool. And he didn't even hesitate. Didn't even look scared. Everyone needs a Raphael. I know, right? I want a Raphael. I guess I can't picture Raphael being afraid of anything, but even so, he's something else. I've got to get him to teach me some moves. Recently, Raphael's been staying in our room more since Paris is taken to staying with his new friend in her cabin. I don't care. More room for us. Today, Brahms and I are eating by ourselves. Paris was nowhere to be found, and Raphael skipped to go rat catching again. From what I've seen, he doesn't eat much. Or sleep much. Brahms, though, he's got an appetite that rivals my own. Just as awful as always, as usual. Only 3 more days of this. Indeed. Look over to Brahms, seeing him deep in thought. Everything okay? Oh, yes. No. I was wondering if... Brahms looks at me, and a flush comes over his cheeks. Do you think Raphael would mind teaching me a few sword fighting tricks? I was going to ask him too. I wonder if my parents knew anything about sword fighting. Because of what an amazing chef I am, I'm inclined to think they both love to cook, but I'll never really know, I guess. Brahms blinks and then his face lights up. Really? Yeah, he was awesome. We should ask him if we can train together. Wouldn't that be boring for you? I mean, I'm sure you're a seasoned adventurer like yourself. Knows far more than me. The words make me smile. My smile falter and I clear my throat, shaking my head. I mean, you can never have enough of the basics. And anyway, Raphael has been doing this much longer than me. This much longer than me, and that's not a lie. Alright then, if you think he'll agree. I don't see why not. Put together our cuteness level is over 8,999. Cuteness level? Brahms snorts. I am not cute. Aw, come on, Brahms. Being adorable doesn't have to be a bad thing. I don't see how it can be anything but. I am a grown man. I don't want to be adorable. You just have to use it to your advantage. Brahms' glare softens a little as he regards me curiously. How? I push open the door to the room I've been sharing with Raphael and Paris. By some stroke of luck, they're both inside. Hey, Raphael, you got a minute? Raphael nods, and I blink a few times, tucking my lower lip briefly into my mouth. Raphael? I widen my green eyes, knowing my cheeks have a perfect amount of flesh from asking Brahms to slap me out in the hallway. He'd been confused, but he'll understand in a second. I need your help with something. I bring my thumb up to my mouth and nibble in the end, making my ears droop down. If you're not too busy... Yes, I mean, I'm not busy. What are you playing at? I'm helping him. He asked me first. I wasn't volunteering. I grin at Brahms, nudging his arm with my elbow as the two continue to fight. See? Wow, you were right. It can come in handy. Alright, Paris, let it go. I was just giving a demonstration. Brahms and I wanted some help with some sports training. Are you up for it, Raphael? Knowing how to defend oneself is a useful skill to have. Thank you. Paris isn't the only one who's got skills. Ooh. Looks like we're in Trinity. It's so good to be on land. You were telling me. I think after a time I started getting used to the rocking of the ship. I don't think that was the case for Paris. The evening sun dyes the city orange. I admire the way the lights twinkle like stars against the backdrop of dark buildings. So this is the mainland. Come, let us find an inn. I believe there's one over this way. Brahms leads the way into the town square, and I keep my eye out for the inn symbol on any of the signs we pass. There's one. We change course to the building Raphael pointed out. 3 stories, and from glancing in the window, it doesn't appear to be all that crowded. That will likely change as the other passengers from our boat seek accommodations, so better to snag a room quickly. Ooh, this one's like the other one at New Trinity, except different colors. I think, if I'm correct, the stairs were a bit lighter, and the walls were definitely darker. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. Hi there, can I help you? We'd like 2 of your finest rooms. Of course, each room comes with complimentary water jugs. The baths are round back and open until sundown. Thank you. Follow me. innkeeper leads us through the surprisingly large building towards a corridor I hadn't noticed before. Sebastian, are rooms 3 and 4 ready yet?
Just a second, Mom.
A small head pokes out from one of the rooms, and an adorable QB boy grins at us.
Are you guys passing through? Or are you here for the ghost?
Ghost? Sebastian! The innkeeper turns towards us. Don't mind him, there's no ghost here. That doesn't sound suspicious at all.
There is too a ghost, Mom. It wanders the halls at night and creeps up behind people. Tries to steal their toes.
Steal their toes? I snorted the ridiculous story, but promises being impressively pale for someone with his complexion. Sebastian! He's just messing around, boys. He's just messing around. Boys will be boys, you know.
But...
Just get the rooms ready. Sebastian disappears back into the room, and then returns after a moment carrying a bundle of sheets.
Alright. They're all good. Enjoy your stay. And watch out for the ghost. Alright. They're all good. Enjoy your stay. And watch out for the ghost.
The innkeeper sighs, directing us towards our rooms. Peeking inside reveals both have 2 beds, theoretically, perfect for our 4-person group. But I doubt Brahms is going to share. Here you are. If you need anything, don't hesitate to ask. We love to accommodate here at the Bellsborough. Thanks. She walks off and I glance at Brahms. So, which room do you want? Huh? Oh. Brahms looks between the 2 rooms, frowning. They're identical. No, I think I heard her say that the one on the left is slightly nicer. Oh, I'll take that one then. I was joking, but Brahms looks so pleased I don't bother to explain. So, I take it you're not going to let one of us sleep with you? What? You have 2 beds. There are 3 of us. Oh, can't you just do whatever you did last time? As I thought. Well, now that that's sorted out, I could use a drink. Paris heads back towards the bar. I think I'm going to walk around town for a bit. If that's alright with the boss. Oh, of course. I'll catch up with you guys later. It might be nice to have a little time to myself. I waved before heading out. Sorry, before heading off, I think it said. The sun is setting by the time we get back to the inn, just in time to bathe. It feels nice to be squeaky clean after all that time on the boat. I head back around to the front of the inn, enjoying the pleasant breeze. Trinity is pretty nice, though I think I like New Trinity better. The island city just had something about it. I'm halfway through the door when something in my peripheral vision catches my attention. Just someone slipping off down a side path between 2 buildings, and at first I don't understand why I looked over in the first place until I see a long bow strapped to their back. Raphael? I wonder what he's doing out so late. Loud laughter from inside makes me drag my eyes away from Raphael's rapidly disappearing figure. I see Paris at a table surrounded by people, already the life of the party. One QB girl leans over and whispers in his ear, making it twitch up. Raphael probably wants some company. I take a step back and close the door on the image of Paris surrounded by people for totally unrelated reasons. By the time I turn around, Raphael is gone. But I remember the direction he'd been walking in, so I head that way. The image of Paris in the bar floats further to the front of my head with every step I take away from the inn. Honestly, it's hard to even work up the energy to be upset about it. Paris will do what Paris does. I just got to get over the total crush I don't have on him. Denial's not a good color on you, Ash. Poor Ash. Following the path Raphael takes me through a dirt road market before spilling out into the trees. I haven't hit the city walls yet, so I guess I haven't left. But it's just like being in the forest. I think I lost him. I pause when I hear a noise behind me, glancing over my shoulder. Raphael? How? I was behind him. What are you doing out here? Let's see. Where'd you go? There you go. I was looking for you, of course. I saw you heading this way and thought you might like some company. Raphael blinks at me in that way of his, and then his eyebrows raise in a rare show of surprise. Really? Yeah. I mean, truthfully, I just wanted to get away from Paris, but spending some time with Raphael might be nice. I don't know much about him yet, but what I do know is already enough to make him the most interesting person I've ever met. That is kind of you. I wouldn't mind your company. A smile? Oh, saints. I'm a little obsessed with Raphael's smile. Me too. It's so adorable. It's so cute. I want to hug him so badly. This is going to sound odd, but I didn't even know you could smile. What are you talking about? Your smile. So great. Do it again. Raphael stares at me for a second and lets out a disgruntled noise. I didn't smile. Yes, you did. If you say so. Raphael must be so not used to smiling he didn't even notice. Next time, I'll have to catch him in the act. The innkeeper told me there was a Sheikah shrine still in use over this way. I was going to pray. Ah, well then, lead the way. Raphael does, leading me through the knot woods down a winding path that eventually loops back into the direction of the market. Are you cold? Huh? Oh. I looked down at my pajamas, tugging idly at my shorts when I noticed they'd ridden up. My shirt is pretty short, but the breeze feels good against my stomach. No, not really. It's pretty nice out. I'm freezing. Glance over at Raphael's layers, squinting. What? Really? Yes. I never would have guessed Raphael was a freeze baby. It's kinda cute. When we reach the shrine, it's smaller than I expected. There's a smooth, flat stone in the grass in front of it, and Raphael approaches, then kneels atop it. He bows his head, and I turn my eyes from him to the shrine. There's a statue of someone I don't recognize, and a small bowl that's filled with a handful of seraphs. Raphael stays down for a minute or so, then claps 3 times and stands. The Sheikah religion has always been rather fascinating to me. They have their own set of beliefs. Most QB just follow Savarin, which was established by Reaver churches after the First War. Maybe before that, QB had their own religion too. Who knows? So much of our history was lost in all the chaos of that time. Are you ready to go back? Huh? Oh. I glanced back towards the inn, wrapping my arms around myself. Actually, do you mind if we stay out here a little longer? We could just walk around for a bit. Raphael looks mildly surprised, but nods. That would be acceptable. I'm not quite ready to go back and see if Paris has found a conquest for the evening. Problem is going to be so mad if he finds out. At least I have that to look forward to. We turn away from the shrine and keep walking off into the night. Chapter 2. Whew. Alright. I think I'm gonna end that not episode, but I'm gonna end that stream there. I need to get at least some sleep. Actually, well, technically my alarm goes off in like at 8:30. It is 8:12 right now, so I'm not going to bed. But this was really fun. I had a blast doing this. I just need to rest my voice. 2 hours of this is like, oof. If it was just my normal voice, I would be fine. But trying different tones and different voices for 2 hours kind of hurts. But that was super fun. I really enjoy this game. I don't know why I stopped playing it. Stretching. Okay. But that's that. I hope you Sprouts enjoyed watching this. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, share. I'll see you Sprouts next time. Hope you Sprouts continue to bloom and grow. Stay hydrated. Bye.